This is the thing, it's killing me is, I'm sure you guys have, but like Rescented, is such a good place
Oh
to
yeah.
check
Oh
out
yeah.
fragrances. I
Yeah.
mean, you had to be careful though a little bit. So I was, I've got a pretty good relationship with the owner, and we've been texting back and forth. Like earlier today, there was a guy that was on there that had a Baccarat 540 and a Aventus for $100. I'm like, they are definitely fake.
Wow.
They were fake.
Yeah, I was about to
It's
say.
yeah. So he went on there and
100%.
he deleted them really quick and took care of it. But like,
I'm gonna have to check that out.
but there's so much
Resend it, huh?
good stuff. Oh yeah, Rescented. Like there's so much good stuff. Like
Oh yeah.
I mean, you have to look around, but I mean you can go back and forth. You can make an offer, and it's all. The thing I love about it is to get on the platform to sell product. You have to scan your ID in, so they know exactly who you are. It's a great way to identify check people, so they
Yeah.
can't scam you. And then they also guarantee it as a part of the price. They guarantee the bottle authentication, and if there's any problems with the bottle, they will have the person send it back, and they actually don't give them the money until you've received it, tested it, and you give them the approval that it is exactly legit.
Oh.
And then they send them the
Gotcha.
money. And then so it's a really great way
That's
to
good.
do things.
Yeah, that's a good way because I've been in watch groups that do the same thing where I'm saying they act as a middleman to authenticate and you get it.
Yeah.
And yeah, they don't pay the seller till it's authenticated. So that's a good way to do it.
Like you can sort by top sellers, most popular, best deals. You could also, the thing I love about it is you can create alerts. So like I can create an alert for like a fragrance I'm looking for, and then anytime
that's
someone puts a
nice.
fragrance up there, it'll ping me and say, hey, one just got posted.
Is that just a website, Joe, or do they have
It's an app.
They have an app as well, so you can do either way.
Okay.
Yeah, either way. Yeah,
Check.
Rescented.com.
Resended, you said?
Yeah, Rescented. Rescented is the site. Rescented, and like I said, it is really phenomenal. The owner's awesome. You do pay. I mean, there is some. So if you sell something, there's a 20%. I think it's 20%. There's some. It's a pretty good percentage that comes off of what you get because they're managing the process. And then I think as a buyer, you have to add $15 to cover shipping and then the authentication. So whenever you like make an offer, like let's say I wanted this straight here, I would click into it and you could see there's already been 13 offers made on it, but I can buy it now or I can make an offer. And if I make an offer, I can put in there how much I want to counter, with, and it'll go to them. Once it's approved, I just got to know in my head that it's going to be $15 more than whatever I, offer up.
Right.
I have
Yeah,
questions
just
about
bookmark it.
this.
Okay.
So then if you have to send this to the people to be authenticated, how
No,
much longer does that add?
You don't
Oh,
send
no.
no, you don't send it to the people. You send it directly to you authenticate it as the buyer. The buyer authenticates it. So like you're gonna get it in and you're gonna make sure it's that it's legit and not there's no problems with it. It doesn't look fake, it doesn't smell fake, it wasn't what they said it was. They sent you the right thing. Like you're authenticating to make sure, and if you have any problems or even suspect that it's not right, then you let them know. They don't pay the person, and then they'll send you a return label to return the fragrance back to the individual.
Oh, gotcha. I was looking at it from a seller standpoint because I'm scared to sell stuff on Mercari because they don't seem to back sellers very well.
Yeah.
And people are because someone tried to scam me out of one of my Givenchy that was like discontinued, hard to get, expensive. And I knew that that's what they were doing because I've seen so many TikToks about people scamming. So I'm just trying to go through something that's a little bit more seller friendly.
Yeah, I mean,
This one I think is.
it is,
Oh.
except for I will say, I mean, Steve, who's in the room here, he does not love this company because he sent his fragrance to somebody and they claimed that it was fake, and he had to produce the documentation to show that it wasn't fake, and he wasn't able to do that because, as we know, Steve buys so many fragrances. Could you imagine him keeping all those receipts and keeping those things straight? And because he couldn't produce a receipt, they said, "Hey, look, it's." We just kind of argue. We're not saying that that you have a fake. It's just that if a seller doesn't feel comfortable, we're going to ensure that they can send it back and that you get a refund. And so that's what they did. And so he was a little upset by that because they asked him for detailed information and he wasn't able to provide it. And so then again, it just kind of it flipped back. But that was what he said. What he said to me about that.
So yeah, I stand corrected. It is the same, because earlier I checked, it was not the same on any of the ones you clicked on, and I was like, oh, I guess it's different. But I just went to mine, and now it's the same. So
It may have been
obviously, it's been
It
updated.
may have been earlier because when I texted him, he had to get in there and delete about 10 of them because it was all from the same guy who was obviously
Okay.
scamming. So it looked a lot
Yeah.
different. But I bought probably about 5 or 6 off of here and saved some money. And they've all been good. They've all been fast shipping, good tracking, and it's all been for the higher stuff. The thing I don't like is people will lowball you on your offers when you're selling. And you can say like you can click saying this is the final counter. So like you can counter one last time, and then if they don't accept it, then you just move on. So like that's kind of good.
That's handy.
But yeah, so it's definitely worth checking out. I actually have a call with Carl on Monday tomorrow, the owner, and we're going to talk a little bit more about it. But it's something that I've really been talking about and using quite a bit. So it's definitely something I can say, works. And then I wanted to say on the Steve, you're talking about going back and forth. The one thing I will say is, yeah, people do try to do the lowball first offer, but you as an individual can say, this is my last offer. So like if you're tired, like if you just want to, if somebody's giving you a lowball offer and you just want to give them one time back, you can do that and just say, hey, it's my last offer. Here's what it is. So you can stop the nickel and diming pretty quick by putting a line in the sand. You just got to know that, it's going to move on to the next person.
Everyone's going to try and do that. It's that, like, I did that with a lot of Facebook Marketplace resales and stuff, and it just like, I think I had a fridge, and I think I charged like 800, and they're like, I'll give you 2, and I was like, no, like that's
Well,
complete,
it's
like,
like,
no.
what's the
That's
worst
not
you
even
can
how that
say?
works.
What's the worst you
Yeah.
can say is no, right? I mean, the worst you can. I mean, so it's worth that.
Yeah.
Trying sometimes when you get a great deal if somebody really is motivated to sell.
Yeah, and then one couple, they were like, hey, like our truck kind of got up and it's in the shop, and like our fridge went up. Like maybe my wife and I fell for the sob story, but like, hey, could you do 550? And I was like, yeah, I'll do 550.
Yeah.
I will say is that you can't communicate. I mean, they do it to protect the buyer and the seller. So like you can't actually like say that stuff. And I think they did that way because they felt like people were using it to do things like that, to take advantage of people. So you actually can't communicate directly with the buyer or the seller. You can just do monetary offers back and forth. What
Yeah.
Rescented says is like, if you do need to get a message to that individual, all you have to do is email it to them and they will vet it and they will send it on your behalf. So like they will kind of be that help to communicate if you need to beyond just kind of the straight offer of of dollars. So sometimes that'll help too, especially when you have multiple bottles. Like if you have multiple bottles from the same seller, like there's a way so you don't have to keep paying that $15 fee for every bottle. Like you can just they'll batch it together for you. So they'll say, hey, well, you want to buy these 3 bottles, they've accepted them, they'll batch them together in one shipment so that you don't have to pay shipping 3 times, right? So they're good about that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so. What's the comments? What were you saying?
No, he was talking about like you're a better man than I was. And I was like, I'm normally like, I'm not gonna budge, but I had this fridge like in my in my dining room for like 2 months ever since like our reconstruction. We got a new fridge and it's just sitting there, and I was like, I just want it gone. Like,
Yeah, and then
I was just at the point.
one of the things you brought up too that I just want to I keep thinking about things like the other thing that the thing that I like is I'll send out emails to people that are in the platform giving them tips on if you want to sell something. But one of the things I find that people screw up the most is they don't go check discounters first before they price their item. Like we're all smart enough to know, like, if we look at a bottle on here, we're going to go check the discounter price before we make an offer on here. Like, so if you're going to sell a bottle, go look at we know what you paid retail. Like, you can upload your receipt and everything else, but it doesn't matter. If I can buy it at a retail, a brand new in the box, I'm going to, at a discount, I'm going to do that over, doing it through this app. So people just need to do a little research before they actually put stuff up here for sale. I would save a lot of time and problems.
I always go $20 to $30 under the discounter price usually.
Yeah, and I think you have to be able to move things, because it's even in some of the groups that I'm in, the Book of Faces groups, and then even on Whatnot, I see people buying stuff, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, yeah, some people just don't bother to know or research, and they're overpaying for things.
Yeah, like the MMs, I capped out at 50. I was like, I'm good at 50.
Yeah.
The WN taps into that gambling nature, though.
It does.
Yep.
Yeah, it goes well beyond the fragrance. It goes into the winning. I need to win it.
Yeah, but also I think too that, like you said, that gambling where people are swiping and they swipe too quick, like right in the middle of it, And then I've gotten caught a few times where I'm like, oh, cool, I got it for 60. And then I swipe again to like beat somebody and it's like 95. And you're like,
Yep.
oh, and you
that
can't back out. And I'm like, oh, damn it.